Hello again, my name is T and welcome to my party. So I am unlucky in that I recorded the whole first route and I was into it, it got really juicy, and I lost all that footage. Yeah, it no longer became usable and we're back, and that's fine with me, but now I just have to get ready for the heartache again. So let's go. I'm going to go on auto and hopefully get this in and out in a timely manner, because I just hate going over things again. I left Chiemi, went to Maiko. Bear! She waved at me. Good thing she was kind of used to me now. What are you drawing? These are guardians! Guardians? One drawing showed a warped circle with a line just as strange going through it. But I could see what it was. It looked like the Higuchi family crest I saw in the dining hall. There were 4 of them apparently. The others were hard to differentiate. Oh, that whirling drawing was the same as the ones on the stone. The symbol of the Yumatsu Okami. See? Shinai's guardians. Did One-chan teach them to you? Yeah. What about these? They're not guardians, are they? They're cattle. I certainly was expecting to hear such a vivid word from a girl about 4 years old. What, were you expecting moo-moo? Animals, huh? Yeah, this is a cow. This is a donkey. Oh. This is a pig. Ah. The ground wasn't the best canvas, and the little girl wasn't the best artist. All I could really tell was that they all had 4 legs. Actually, I'm faster. And this? Me! It had 4 legs, though. Well, whatever. And this? It's bigger than the others. A wolf. A light chill went down my spine. Huh? Why a wolf? Because the wolf is coming. Huh? The wolf is coming? That was like... Because the wolf is coming, I had to run far, far away. Hold on, Maiko. You know the wolf? I haven't met him, but I know he's scary. Is this the same wolf as we have here? Eh? Where's the snake and monkey? I don't know. What does the wolf do? Eat the cattle. Eat? Yeah, they said the horse was eaten. Apparently this had nothing to do with Fujiyoshi's legend. I had no idea if this was from a picture book or her imagination, but there were barely any links between the stories. Or maybe I was rushing to conclusions? Who told you this story? It really happened. Where then? Far away. Far away, huh? I've been walking for so long. Well, it didn't look like I could get any details from her. If far away referred to the land of myth, it actually had truths regarding Fujiyoshi's legends that weren't told here. What the hell was I thinking? Land of myth. How stupid. I should just calm down and file it under more info that made no sense to me. I see. It must have been hard. I'm hungry. Same here. Let's go back. Okay. As we turned around, I saw Chiemi stand up against the mist again and hesitantly beckon us. Looks like the food's ready. Oh, looks like the food's ready. Kiyanosuke was standing at the entrance to the dining hall wearing a gloomy expression. He was never particularly vigorous, but now his visage had haggard and he wasn't nearly as arrogant as before. Couldn't blame him. The only person he saw friendly, flirtatious, to Rikaku Umatsu, was in an awful state. Also, despite all he said, he'd actually rely on Takumi. They seemed to be close in terms of age, too. And from what I heard, he never really said anything wrong. The only problem was his insensitive choice of words. The feast was a communication game. Even if you were right about something, it didn't matter much if you couldn't convince anyone. Thank you very much. Still, he was one of the mere 2 confirmed humans. Treating him badly and making him upset wouldn't help at all. I had to be courteous. Let's go! Yeah! Hungry, aren't we, Maiko? Chiemi had calmed down a bit. I already told her my suspicions and now had to hope she handled the feast well. All that was left now was to get some nutrients to support my hard work. I'm sorry, I couldn't prepare anything better. She ladled what appeared to be rice gruel from the large pot. It was a thick white soup with vegetables, rice, and something brown inside. Game meat? Is it fermented? Yes, the fresh meat is spoiled. Chiemi? I whispered to her. What do we do? What do you want to do? We were talking about the thing where I had to avoid local food. You know what? I'll stick to my diet until the end this time. Okay, thanks. What did I mean by this time? Did I think I had another life or something? Oops. It was fine. It wasn't like I was cool with just dying on... just on the off chance. I didn't care. Dying wasn't acceptable in my opinion. It wasn't about compromise on that. There's no point in walking around, so I'll just wait here. Alright. You're not going to eat? I have a bunch of allergies. That's because you young'uns don't eat proper. You won't become strong if you don't have a balanced diet. Hey, I was lying, but telling actual allergy sufferers that they could just eat and they'd be cured was actual murder. Well, there was some efforts to cure allergies by carefully injecting allergens via vaccine, but that was a subject for the doctor. Anyway, I'm going back to the dorm by myself was dangerous since they'd suspect me, so I just waited in the corner of the room, still hungry. Where are Yasunaga and Haru? Still upstairs? Don't mind them. Your food will get cold. More! I'll go call them. I went up the stairs, and when I reached the second floor, I stopped for a moment. I heard some rustling. Was it possible they'd gotten that intimate in just a few minutes? Was I about to ruin the mood? Yeah, because, you know, they're gonna die, but you might as well, get it on first before, just to see what it's like. Well, food was important too. I said, to get their attention and slowly went up, making sure I was loud enough for them to hear me coming. It's lunchtime. Oh, Yasunaga? Hello. The room was full of stuff. It was a huge mess. You looking for something? No luck, huh? Yes, I was told there was a new apron in the attic, but we couldn't find it there, so we were checking other places too. So that was it. Did you see? Huh? Could you not tell anyone about this? Well, I did come up carefully, but it's not like I saw anything I shouldn't have. Were you going at it? Don't ask kids that. That's weird. What are you saying? I'm kidding. I know you wouldn't do something like that at a time like this. Of course we wouldn't. Yeah. Really now? I was still kind of worried. Anyway, why not take a break and get some food? They didn't argue as we prepared to go back. There was a loud noise from downstairs. What? Yasunaga and I looked at each other, then ran out of the room without saying a word. we were met with a strange scene. I instantly realized what had happened and who was responsible. Kiyonosuke was wearing a furious expression, his shoulders shaking. There was a shattered plate of rice gruel at his feet. The contents were still steaming. He was facing Kaori Oribe, who was standing completely still. Did he throw his food to the floor? Was it that bad? No way, this was clearly something way bigger than that. What has gotten into you? Chiemi and the others didn't seem to understand either. They shifted uneasily. Ane. In. What? Wolf's Bane, the plant! There's aconite in this food! What? Miko, did you eat any? Not yet. What about the rest of you? Hold on, I'm so lost. Is that true? Look at these leaves. They shine. The other side isn't white and the tip is pointy. They smell different too. This isn't mungwort or windflower. You're right. It's wolfsbane. You used wild plants, Mom? Yes. That was close. What a mistake. Someone could have gotten poisoned. She wants to kill us. Wait, it was just a mistake. That's it. Don't be so cruel. Haru stopped talking when she realized the suspect was acting strange. Kaori was standing right at Kiyonosuke, not moving an inch and smiling. She was completely glaring him down. Yes. That response was so delayed we had no idea what it was for. When Kiyonosuke backed away a bit, his expression shifted from rage to fear. Mom? You should all die! As she stood there wailing madly, she brandished a knife. She was hardly moving quickly. But the sight of the blade had stunted our reflexes. I'd seen some bizarre corpses here. I'd bore witness to what pure malice could do. But a still living, blatant malevolence, killing intent, was so intense to paralyze everyone present. I barely registered the scene unfolding before me. Staggering a bit, the woman passed the counter. The sharp knife was still green with something, likely shavings of aconite. I'm still not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. So if I am, be kind. If I'm not, tell me and roast me in the comments, please. She raised her voice and aimed her poisoned weapon at the nearest target, Kiyonosuke-san. So, what you're probably noticing is that there's a red skull here to recognize that I tackled her the first time, and then the sheep was like, "Oh, you died." Because I went to the hint corner because I'm like, gee, let's check it out. And there was this smoking sheep there, and he was like, "Hey, fella, I see you died. That's really unfortunate. Stop being a dumbass." And so I was like, "Gee, thanks, sheep." And then we went through this whole roundabout again, and we're going to find a nearby weapon. Because I'm not going to go through that, because I know, we all know what's going to happen. I had no idea why my body began to move. I grabbed the nearest chair without even thinking about it. It was old, wooden, and heavy. Picking it up made me lose my balance for a bit. I pointed its legs toward the would-be murderer and dashed forward as fast as I could. A crash, a cry of pain, a scream. Amidst the cacophony, I attempted to keep Kaori pinned down. I pressed the edge of the chair against her knife arm. She cried out in pain and the blade clattered to the floor. Chiemi then quickly kicked it away. In hindsight, it all happened in a mere matter of seconds. In fact, tying her up was way harder, what with her foaming from the mouth and struggling. In the end, we bound her limbs and gagged her to silence her bloodthirsty screams. With that done, we had no choice but to face reality. I know I'm probably not the best person to ask, but what do you even do about this? 6 of us stood in the mist right outside the dining hall. Kaori was locked inside. She has also become a Yamibito. No, that can't be. She's just not feeling well. I guess she really was pushing herself. Of course she was. Do you have any idea how important Yachisugu was to her? He was foolish, short-tempered, and annoying, but... No, that's exactly why she treasured him so much. She often said that he was as reckless as his father. I'll take responsibility and calm her down myself. Please forgive her for this. We should decide this at the feast. Please wait. This is a personal outburst that has nothing to do with the feast. Keep her out of it. I mean, I know she just tried to poison us all and came at you with a knife, but probably just a coincidence. You know, women. How could you be so certain? She might have succumbed to the corruption. Misato? Everything in the mist has to be decided at the feast. Breaking that law risks falling victim to the corruption. That's true. Very well. Let's go. No, Yasunaga, she'll be killed. I won't let that happen. Fusashi, please, look after her. Not gonna lock me up again? No one replied. Apparently it didn't matter anymore. Chiemi. She was making the same face she did whenever she talked about God. I knew this would happen. Strangely enough, there was emotion in her eyes. I could see 90% resignation and 10% fear, and 100%... God damn it! I made this joke last time and I was like, I got it, I remembered it, and I still can't remember that Kanye song. Watching me until she finally passed out of sight, she followed the others down the hall. Where's the sake? Can't we just skip that part? The cleansing is important. Here you go, Nasato. Thank you. That hits the spot. You too, Chi-chan. Yasu. You just take a lick. What about One-chan? Uematsu can't be here anymore. I'll look after this girl. What's the point? Chiene, get a grip. Then let's begin. I vote to hang Madame Oribe. For what reason? She's dangerous. In that case, I will vote for Rikaku Uematsu for the exact same reason. What about the rest? This is a temporary vote for now. Just say what you think. I think we should hang both. Doesn't really matter what order. I can't think straight right now. We should hang Rikaku Uematsu. We can at least talk to Kaori, but Rikaku Uematsu is a mad beast. What about you, child? They're eating One-chan? What's that supposed to mean? Listen, if you want to protect Rikako-san, then you have to hang Kaori Oribe. Me! She won't understand. 3 didn't vote, and 3 who are in favor of hanging Uematsu-san. It's decided. This is absurd. Is that how you repay her for moving her here, working so hard on our behalf? Hear me out, will you? My mom is just a bit out of it right now. She may still be able to reason with her. We may still be able to reason with her. However, Uematsu-san is basically a mindless animal. She doesn't even have the capacity to vote on things. Unlike mom, she's a Yamibito now. Yamibito. I do B2, just because English, the 2... It's stupid. Even if we hang my mom today, what will we do tomorrow? Do you have a way of fixing Uematsu? Looks like it's decided. How simplistic. I know you're biased because Madame Oribe is a relative, but you don't see the big picture. What? Think about it. Our top priority is to kill the wolves. What comes before all else? Yamibito.
aren't wolves, are they? That basically proves that Rikako isn't a wolf. Huh? What do you mean? Remember the legend. The wolves are Yomatsu Okami, beings already corrupted by Yomi. Do you really believe they can become Yamibito as well? Yamawaki, what's your opinion? That might be true. Here's a hypothesis. Powerful corruption slaughters you like it did with those journalists and your brother. However, weaker levels of corruption cause madness. Mad guardians are wolves, while mad humans are Yamibito. That means that the corruption's punishment can only be slaughter for wolves, and either slaughter or Yamibito transformation for humans. That's just a convenient delusion. Indeed, I have no way to prove it, but I can make it seem more plausible. If wolves could go bad due to the corruption, would they even look like Rikako-san does? These are beasts disguised as human. Would they truly look like that if they'd gone mad? I think the beasts would show their true selves, their beastly fury, if that's what happened to Rikako-san. No, is that? That might be true. Then maybe we should hang Kaori first. Teiba? You're basing your decision on fairy tales. We had actual deaths here. This is ridiculous. I'm the one who's ridiculous? To accept the fear of corruption means to accept the legends. See, I've accepted it. Fearing the corruption while disregarding the legends is what's truly ridiculous, don't you think? Chiene. I'm afraid of God. I'm afraid of this God who toys with us as we dance on his palms. What are you saying? Regardless of... No, because of that. We need to fight back against our fears. For that, we need weapons. Haruaki? Huh? Why him? I vote for you, Yasu. What? What? Chiene? I'm not sure I understand you, Serizawa. Nosato, start the proper vote. There's no point in just talking. Huh? But? This was going to happen sooner or later. If she's truly casting her vote, it is only fair for us to cast ours. But whether I can forgive you or not is another story, Chiene. I know. No objections? Then let's begin the vote. Here's what I think. Nosato is half right. We're supposed to search for wolves here. But I'm completely against relying on the legends for evidence. Mochi, the old wolf guy, Takumi all died at the hands of people. That's why we should look back over what's happened so far instead of the legends. So, how about this? First, who from me understood the purpose of the feast? Nosato said himself. Maiko is too young to understand, and Haru... Honestly, I think she'd oppose Nosato and side with Yasu regardless of the situation. Teiba would look to the legends, obviously. She's the biggest believer here. What about you, Yasu, though? I know it's been hard for him. And with his mom hanged, I can understand why he'd panic. But then, why push for Rikako-san's hanging? It's easy for us Yamimizu people to justify hanging the village head, but you should understand what comes first. Death of the damned Yamibito is the mandate. We should look for the immediate threat at hand, the wolves, before worrying about those words. The Yasu I know would keep a cool head even in a crisis. Chiene, I understand what you're saying. I just can't forgive him. Whenever you talk, it always makes a mess of things. Takumi, Yashitsugu, and Mochi are all dead because of you. And now you want to take my mother? I'm sick of you. Nii-chan, what's wrong? Calm down. So, yeah, I forgot about the purpose of the feast. It was just an act of pity revenge. I used Haru for that. Like you said, that's all there is for me. I'm a pretty boring person. Are you still not satisfied? Yeah, this is totally out of character for you. Yasu, I'm probably just looking too deeply into it, but when Kaori set the food, only you and Haru were absent. If the others had all been poisoned as you planned, you'd be the only survivors, Hariaki notwithstanding. If you were a wolf, that'd be pretty good for you, right? Are you suggesting I convinced Mom to poison everyone? That'd be just the worst. She probably got the wolf's bane early in the morning. She was too busy otherwise. And it looked like she woke up early. By that point, she was already resolved to kill us. It's easy to imagine that someone had given her the idea the previous night. What? We can't contact anyone at night. There are 2 wolves. What? For the sake of her only living son, Kaori was ready to kill everyone, even if that meant being a subject to the corruption. But I'm human! If you only had the wolves and a lone human at the end, votes would no longer matter. Haru wouldn't be able to do anything. No way! Ni-chan? Yasu? That's impossible. I mean, if Mom were a wolf, Yachizuku wouldn't have died. She could have killed Mom, or she could have killed me to spare him, though. You think I convinced her to do that? She'd never listen. She loved him way more than me. Chiani, this is cruel. There's no way he'd say anything like that to his mom. I'm not saying the wolves killed Yoshi. He might have been out at night and killed by the corruption. Also, even if she wasn't a wolf, she'd help her son even if it meant falling victim to the corruption. It sounds like you're saying whatever you can to make Ii-chan into a bad guy. What's wrong with you, Chiani? You always used to protect us. Was it him? Did Fusashi tell you to say like that? To say that? Did he make you change? No, he didn't. I'm just following his example and thinking for myself. Things I don't want to be true could actually be true, and I can't look away from them. And so you decided to vote against me and ruin our friendship? I mean... Listen to yourself. The Yasu I know would never try to guilt me into submission like that. If you ask me, you're the one who changed. So, who will you vote for? I need to take responsibility for what I said. I suspected Yasu and I'm sticking to that. 1 vote for Yasunaga Oribe. We messed up the order, but in terms of seating order, Teiba is first. How will you vote? I will vote for Kaori-san. I don't think Umatsu-sama is a wolf. What about you, Nasato? So now you're being respectful. My answer doesn't change. In fact, Sarizawa's words made me even more certain. Yasunaga Oribe, in all honesty, your current attitude makes it hard to believe you are a wolf. But it's likely your mother is. 1 vote for Kaori Oribe. What about you, Yasunaga? I'm still voting for Rikaku Umatsu. I'm voting for Rikaku Umatsu too! The child can be ignored. Wait, Maiko, think. Your vote might decide whether the humans win or lose. Chiani, you'll go that far? You'll trick a child and take her vote? If that's what it takes, I'll do it. Maiko, you don't want Rikako-san to be gone, right? No! Then, it's pointless. Even if she votes for me, it'll just be a 3-way tie. I choose who I don't need? Yes. Then, I'll go with the lady. She was scary. You mean the woman from the dining hall? Mm-hmm. It's decided then. No. This has to be a sick joke. Mom will die because of something like this. A vote is a vote.
Nii-chan, it's over. I heard muffled screams and sobbing from the dining hall beside me. Gagged and tied Kaori Oribe was still wailing. She couldn't move properly and had a pole fixed to her shoulders, but I was still worried enough to check her every now and then. The lack of change helped calm my nerves, but at the same time I resented myself for a bit. Quite a bit of time had passed since the feast began. What kind of decision would they make? The daily wolf lynching, hanging, had failed every single time so far. Considering the number of days remaining and how many people were left, if they messed up today, the humans would lose all hope of surviving. If either Kaori Oribe and Rikaku Umatsu ended up chosen, there would be just no chance anymore. Once I saw people leaving the hall, my mouth moved on its own. It's done then. Their eyes were steady. They walked in my direction. Not to me, though, but to the dining hall. You chose Kaori Oribe? I asked anyway. I was speaking to the last representative of sanity in this place, Kiyanosuke Nasato. Move. We didn't even converse. His tone and the look in his eyes were different from usual. His usual arrogant pride was gone, and in place stood a deadly determination. Yasunaga? I lost. Haru? I was against it. Oba-san. It's the will of Shinai-sama. Chiemi? Haruaki, take the girl. Maiko was at the rear of the group. Somewhat hesitantly, she walked up to me. I moved aside to let them pass. They all entered the dining hall and dragged out the victim. The ones holding the ropes and doing the dragging were Kiyanosuke Nasato and Shiemi Serizawa. Following behind was Tei Yamawaki, prodding her onward with a bamboo broom. Yamero. Stop. As his mother cried out in pain, Yasunaga Oribe followed the group, hand in hand with Haru Makashima. Tomero. Stop them. Haru Makashima was bawling. Yasunaga Oribe was shaking, not even to try to hide his sobs. His face was warped in anguish. Dareka. Someone. As the group faded away, the gag fell out and the victim's voice grew loud. Not a scrap of reason remained, only raw terror. Or perhaps madness. Oh, please. Someone. Beg for her life. However, I didn't hear any pleas to the very end, and I painfully realized I wasn't participating in the feast. I wasn't part of this live-section game bound by otherworldly rules. Don't look. I turned Maiko away, hugged her, and covered her ears. Because of that, I couldn't cover my own. Parent-like dedication. What a weird idea. Anyways, the group disappeared into the mist, and I somehow felt as though the screams or laugh grew even clearer. I was subjected to this illusion until the very end. And we are going to stop here. Yeah, got pretty heated. I feel like since she calmed down, we could kind of tell Kaori was breaking. Like, she was always eerily calm with like bags under her eyes, and she was just like a wraith almost. And I didn't think that she would poison us. I thought at the very least she would like break down and not move, or like be in like this position where she just believed her son was there or something. But yeah, and if you want to keep going, watch the next episode and we will see what happens. Okay, bye!